Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about The Handmaid's Tale Season 3, Episode 9. It is called Heroic. Full spoilers for the episode, as always.
9 already.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I'm actually almost surprised at that number. I'm like, wait, we've only got 4 left? When did that happen?
Yeah.
Jeez. So this is a very concept-heavy episode in that it's almost all entirely set in one room.
Yeah.
It's June is being forced to kneel and pray in the hospital room where of Matthew?
Matthew?
Yeah, I think it's of Matthew.
I can tell you her real name.
Go on then.
It was Natalie, I believe.
Natalie, yeah. So she and the doctors have no hopes of her surviving. They just care about her baby because she's pregnant, of course. So she's however many months pregnant, and June's been kneeling down, and
she's been there for nearly a month, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
Maybe 32 days, I think I recall.
So a bit of a time jump, and obviously there's still months to go. She's expecting months before that the pregnancy's going to be done, and it's almost entirely set in this room. And I actually don't know how you're going to feel about this episode. As I was watching it, I was like, Connor actually might appreciate this, or he might hate it, and I'm not sure which way he's going to go.
Do you know what the funny thing is?
I
don't know which way I go. Because there are things I like, and there are things I like. There are some things I really don't like. There are still some baffling direction choices that I do not understand.
That's fair. Here's the thing. I like this one a lot more in the last couple of episodes, and I think the reason why I liked it, two main reasons, right? Outside of the fact that it's just really focused on this one central idea about June's mind and how affected it is by everything and blah blah blah. But the two reasons why I think I like this episode, even if it has its problems, is one, it had a really eerie tone because June's kind of going psychotic. She's going legitimately crazy, where she's hearing the beeping from the machine. Because the episode opens with, "Ooh, baby, did you know the na-na?" The song.
That is one of my biggest direction choice problems.
I
hated that we opened with that, because then we get into it and June's all out of it, and she's there listening, and you're hearing the beeps, and she's like, "Do you hear it?" And she's like, "You will." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I already know what this is because you played me the song 30 seconds ago."
Okay.
I feel like if I'm just going, what the hell is she hearing? And not quite in her head.
Do you know what the weird thing is though? Is after she said that though, and it came in a little bit again as she was singing it, I could actually almost hear the beat of the song and the beeping. I could almost hear it doing the thing.
You can, absolutely, you can. Which is why I think I don't think you play the song until towards the end of the episode. I think you have her sing a little bit, line here, line there, so you get what it is. Not immediately, not from the very opening of the episode though. As it goes on, you kind of go, "Oh, that's what it is." And then I think there's a bit at the end where she's listening to it.
It doesn't annoy me as much as it annoys you that they played it first, but forget that they played it first though. All the little beats of her singing a little bit of it and being kind of out of it, and there's the score in this episode was a bit eerier as well. It felt like she is truly going off the deep end here. And of course it does address some of the problems we have with her choices in the last couple of episodes, because she wants to kill. She actually fishes out a used scalpel from the blade disposal. Which is, were you cringing when she pricked herself with the...
I was not watching. I was looking away at that point. Thank you very much.
She may end up touching a needle.
I saw the hand come out. I was like, nope, not looking. And it wasn't until I heard it I was like, another 5 seconds just to be safe. Okay.
But she has the scalpel and she's talking about who she's going to kill in her head. And I liked that the narration was a bit more heavy in this episode. It was just truly her.
I do think it went a little overboard with it for me. I think because it was so full sentences, just full monologue. Whereas I felt like, usually it's a lot more refined. There's a structure to it. I get, I felt that's the point. She's kind of off the deep end. It's all just unfiltered. But I do think for me it went a little too far into it.
No, I kind of like the narration in this one. And it kind of almost felt like it remembered she's supposed to narrate, but it went further, like you say, off the deep end. And the fact that she almost tries to talk Janine into be the one that kills her, because she's going to kill Natalie in her sleep, and Janine basically calls her out on her bullshit and says that she doesn't like what she's become. And I'm like, so not only is it good that they're addressing that she has gotten sinister, and that is not necessarily the right path for her to take. And we said that she has to kind of redeem herself from the choices she's made in the last couple of episodes. I think having Janine be the one to do that, to say it to her,
when Janine is the voice of reason.
Yeah, well, I think it's effective because Janine's a character who, she was broken herself and she got great sympathy from June, and I think her essentially, almost mothering her back a little bit here.
No, I think we spoke about this. Was it last week where, her reaction to with how she reacted to Natalie and what she did is the complete opposite of what she did with Janine, even though it was kind of they're both victims of the same system.
And it's the arc of the episode, which is represented through the younger, the girls who are there because they're about 12, 13, and they're getting tested to see if they're if they're capable of giving birth, and and she keeps seeing them walk past, and they've got the pink on instead of the it's not red, it's pink because they're not potential handmaids necessarily.
Yeah, I guess that's just what young girls wear.
Yeah,
pink.
Well, we see. I think Hannah, was she wearing pink before? I think they were wearing green before, but maybe once they get to the age where they're
maybe
they're considered
because
sexually.
They're wearing pink before they know for sure whether or not they're able to have kids.
Might just be an age thing. It might be like you hit 12 and that's you.
Could be.
Because now it's like, there's the potential that you are a mother is shot up, so now you're more important. So the pinks to make you more stand out, I guess. I don't know. So she sees these kids and she's made, and I do like some of the little touches in like just the choice of writing here where like when we realize how long she's been kneeling down when she tries to stand up and she can't. She's falling over. She's been kneeling down so long, her legs have atrophied. Her knees are like marked because she's been on them for so long, and she is completely delirious and out of it for a lot of the episode. And it's the doctor who like patches her up, but after she tries to slash Serena, because I love that she's looking for her victim. She's like, oh, maybe I'll kill the doctor because he's like the highest, the head honcho in here. And then Serena walks in, and I'm like, well, okay, now she's got the perfect target.
Acquired.
Yeah. And bizarrely, Serena doesn't turn her in. I mean, she tells the doctor.
But she tells the doctor that she tried to cut herself. Yeah. She doesn't actually, because she definitely cuts Serena's arm.
Yeah, she does, but Serena doesn't.
She just holds it and doesn't mention it.
Yeah, she. I mean, in season 1, Serena would have been, thrilled to turn her in for something like this.
Yeah.
But she chooses not to, which maybe shows that despite everything that we've went through with those two, that she still is different to the Serena we had in the back in season 1. She still has some difference in her, and it's actually his speech about like, your mother honored you by trying to fight things because he recognizes her name. He's like, because she says who her mother was when she practiced medicine, and he's like, oh, we were all scared of her. You're definitely your mother's daughter. And how are you going to honor your daughters? Because she mentions that part of the reason why she's at the point of suicide now is that, like, I'm never going to see my daughters again. I've kind of realizing that, and that's why she's at this point. And I think it makes sense to have her completely break down in a way we've never seen before, and I think that's why I like this episode a lot more, certainly the last one, and probably this might be the best episode of the season. And I think the reason for it is because, at least for me, is that it's the first time this season where it feels like it's truly new material, where I feel like, no, we've not done this before in any way.
Yeah, I get that. I think I have a bit more of a frustration is I like the ending in that, okay, we're back on Team June, right? In the sense that
Absolutely.
She's back on mission.
Well, because she talks to the one girl before she leaves, right? And the girl is really nice to her, and she's like, "Oh, I'm here to see if I can have kids, and I won't do that now. I'll do that when I get married." And June's like, "Is that what you want?" And the kid hesitates, but says, "Of course, that's what I'm supposed to do." And it's like in this moment, what she's essentially realizing is that that's the kid, Natalie, just like these kids who have been indoctrinated, and they don't know any better. They don't know to believe in better or dream for better because it's just been drilled into them so much. And the kids even more so. So it's when she's leaving and she sees a whole row of them go in, and she realizes that the only way she can actually fix or change things is not by belittling anyone who has become a victim of the system. She has to be more compassionate. She has to be better than everyone else. And she makes the choice. She says to Aunt Lydia, I want to go back in. I don't want to leave her. and she speaks to her, as we hear the beeping and fade, cut to the credits. She says, "I'm going to get your daughter out here. I'm going to get my daughters out here. I'm going to get as many as I goddamn can." And it's her sort of reaffirming her mission goal. And she admits she doesn't know how she's going to do it, but that's the arc of the episode.
Well, she's having a son, right?
Oh, son. Sorry, yeah, son. But I think for me the reason why this episode worked, despite some little nitpicks of over the top direction at points, is it's really focused and it's about one thing. If you told me last week that they're going to do June's entire redemption in one episode, I might have been worried about that. But this episode is about nothing else. It is just about her arc going through that.
No, it is. I think part of my problem is the actual redemption point. From where Janine calls her out to where she turns around, still feels a bit too quick to me.
Okay.
It was just one conversation, sees the few girls, and then okay, right, she's back in. And
well, I think there's two conversations. I think the doctor's conversation is equally.
Okay, sure. It still just felt a little bit quick to me, and I think my biggest problem that is, even though I kind of okay, we're back to where we need to be, is kind of you said it's new territory, but the ending does essentially just put us back to June's
I'm talking about new territory. I'm talking about our main state. I'm talking about this the episode as a concept. This punishment she's going through, the way she's struggling with possibly just wanting to kill people and kill herself. This is a delirious level that June's never gotten to.
It is, yeah. I think that what frustrates me is all of this is to get her back to where she was anyway, and it's made most of this season feel like a really pointless detour.
I mean, there is mixed feelings because the only reason why we can have this episode is because of where we went in the last couple, and I didn't like those episodes that much. So that is a problem, and it does mean that the season overall, even if the rest of it's great, is going to have this kind of problem in the middle that we're going to have to just live with. But I do think this episode handles it fairly well, even if the direction is still a little bit over the top in places. Although it did give me one of the funniest lines of the whole show. Every so often, June just hits out a banger of a line. It's when Lydia's with her and they're watching, and Natalie starts having a stroke, and June goes, "Oh, she's having a stroke. If you're sorry,
seizure, not stroke.
Sorry, seizure. Yeah. If you're lucky, you'll see her shit herself." That line was hilarious. That's a really darkly funny line, and it was Aunt Lydia's reaction as well of you're a vile, heartless human being. And speaking of Lydia, she has that sweet moment with Janine, because Janine's eyes become infected, so that's why she's in the hospital a bit more than the other girls.
Yeah, because when they first come in to pray, she's got a hair over her face, and then you see it, and it's okay, and she's like, can't have this vanity.
Yeah, but Lydia does get her a nice red eye patch that she can wear after she's had her surgery or whatever.
Yes, she looks like a space pirate.
Looks like a space pirate. And they have a good giggle with each other. And again, it's going back to this, making Lydia a bit more three-dimensional. And this moment for Lydia was way more effective than anything in her flashbacks last episode.
Do you know what? This made me dislike that even more. Because, I don't know, just the genuine care that she does have for a lot of the girls, right? We've talked about this before. But she obviously does, otherwise she wouldn't be getting Janine an eye patch. She'd have no need for that. The horror she had in Washington with the mouths. Last episode with Lydia's flashbacks, it never sold that she cared about the kids' show, but it never sold that she cared about the family dynamic, anything like that. She was committed to kind of converting the kid to her way of thinking rather than genuinely caring about him.
Yeah. I mean, there was some stuff talking to the mom and trying to get her to improve, but I mean, ultimately, she just.
It felt like she's just like, well, not the mother's problem anymore. We'll deal with it. Whereas, and it felt like a byproduct that she would deal with it. Whereas this here, everything feels like she takes it on quite personally.
Yeah. So the episode, because I kind of came into this one with really low expectations. After last episode, I wasn't feeling super excited about this one, and after about 5-10 minutes, and it was the all the eerie close-ups of her face, and the music was kind of the strings that were just a little bit unsettling. I was like, I'm actually kind of into the feeling of this. I'm getting a feel from this that feels unique to the show, And I think part of the problem with some of the recent episodes, outside of just some really weird direction moments, is that it does feel like it's kind of reusing beats and moments from before to try and recreate things that were already done better early on in the show.
Yeah.
So I mean, if the point of this is to get her to the point where she is again back to trying to change things and try and form a plan through the system, that's great. And if it also means that she is essentially gotten over the egotistical side of it and she's more of a level-headed leader, as it were, then great.
Yeah.
It doesn't save a couple of weak episodes we had before it, admittedly, but
No, not at all.
And it does make me think that this season probably could have been cut down to 10 episodes, probably quite happily.
Oh yeah, and during like I'm not as positive as you obviously here, but it's definitely better than the last couple. I'm not arguing that at all.
It felt like it had a purpose. It felt like there was a creative purpose in the story to tell a story about June.
Yeah, no, I get what you say. It's one of those weird things where it's only a creative purpose because they messed up the last few, right? That led to them writing themselves into this hole, and they wrote themselves out of it fairly well.
Well, here's that. I would argue it's not so much they wrote themselves into a hole. I almost wonder if this was the episode they wanted to do. They had this idea of her being broken like this, and they wanted to do this episode, and it was just the getting to the point where they could do it was what they fumbled.
Maybe, yeah.
Because it's not like they write the season in order. They map out their season then right afterwards.
No, it's true.
So I think they wanted this feels like this is what the point of it was to get to this, and this was a pretty good episode. But it does mean that the setup to get here was a little bit muffled, and it doesn't help that all the flashbacks last week were disappointing, and essentially means that you could have probably cut down the last 2 episodes into 1 episode and done the same story. You could have had the stuff that got to this point in 1 episode.
Yeah, which has its own problem though of June's descent feeling even more rushed.
Sure, yeah. They really.
I think it's a problem where it probably should have been portraying this better over the course of the season.
Yeah,
because like we're shocked. We were shocked at the start. So we go, "Whoa, shit! This is episode 9 already that we're getting to this."
That's true.
And it feels like we only did June's descent in the last 2, where we could have been building this up for at least.
Honestly, I mean, the bigger problem for me with June's descent is that the moment of real descent at the end of last episode, where she smirks and it's just like she wanted this to happen, is that moment just felt kind of goofy and felt unnatural. I think you can get away with building up to it and just having one big moment that solidifies that she has gone kind of crazy. But I think the moment has to just work better.
Yeah, maybe, because I felt the same when when she was beating up Natalie after 2 episodes ago now. I think you like this more than I did, but I said at the time, I kind of laughed. It felt a little bit comical to me with the way it was played.
Yeah, but this one was better. Hopefully, the direction for the rest of the season is a bit more tight and focused versus what the middle chunk of this has been. Because it's
baffling that it's there's a lot of the same directors there, right? That have done some really good episodes.
It's almost like they're trying to top themselves, but they're going more extreme with things, and it's not making things better. It's just making it more cheesy, I guess.
Just getting showy because they think that's what it needs to be.
Yeah. I feel like we've probably glossed over a few things in the episode though, because there's several scenes, when the other handmaids come round and sit within a circle or they pray in a group. Lots of little moments of her just kind of being out of it.
A lot of that.
A lot of that, yes. It's kind of neat, and and it makes the Doctor even seem like not such a bad guy, because she flat out admits that she was going to want to kill him, and instead of turning around, he tries to explain and understand her and give her advice. Is he actually a good person? I don't know, but he's better than some.
He's probably not a terrible person, right? I mean, even if he's like, I can't save the mother, but I can save the kid, he probably genuinely sees that as still a relatively noble thing, right? I don't think he feels that as evil or vindictive. I think he genuinely thinks, no, I can save at least one of these lives.
Yeah. Oh, another little moment I really liked actually was when the doctors are doing a lot of stuff to save her, because Natalie has a few moments in the episode where something goes wrong, and they have to come in and like see to her. And they're coming out to check her out, and they've cut like a hole in her leg to like give her some more fluid, kind of thing. And Lydia's asking like what they're doing, and is like, oh, the miracles that God lets these doctors perform. And there's just a small moment where June just gives her this glance when she says that. It was just a perfect little like glance of like, oh my God, shut up. Like it really worked. It really worked. And that was the other thing as well. At the end, when she does see the girls go in and she makes the choice, after we step outside for the first time and she's like breathing the fresh air and she's so happy, but she sees the girls go inside. The moment where she asks Lydia to go back in, Lydia's reaction at her genuine request to stay with Natalie is kind of a big deal. Like, she kind of is like, oh, that would be, that'd be lovely or whatever. But she believes her, because it is genuine.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What's another thing? Serena, once again calls her June. Like, that's a recurring thing now.
Not at first, interestingly. She does call it off. What does she know?
Off Joseph.
Joseph, thank you. Yeah. She does call that at first. It's only when she comes closer that she calls her June. After she sees that she's kind of out of it and ill, as she goes, you look ill.
Yeah, but again, it's a sign that she's kind of trying to appeal to her properly instead of under the shackles of this society. Not that I'm arguing Serena's not horrible, because she is. But,
no, not again.
Yeah, but we'll see. So it was a better episode. It was very focused. I appreciate that. Some nice performance moments as well, from the usual suspects. And they've done a good job of using Janine to be kind of the heart of the show in a lot of ways, and
definitely
to be understanding to other victims in the system, because they go along with it, it's not necessarily their fault that they don't know any better. So yeah, there you go. That is Heroic episode 9. We'll be back next week with episode 10, I guess. Double digits already. My, time does fly. You can support the show and everything we do here on Patreon at patreon.com/MailFuzzTV. You can support us for as little as $1 per month, and that helps keep the shows coming. You get some bonuses, exclusives, and early stuff. So go and have a look and see what's on offer. It also has a post at the top that gives you all the links to all the different shows we do, all the different audio feeds we have, amongst other things. So go and have a look at that too. You can support us by liking, subscribing, and you can rate the podcast on your podcast app. If it's Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star rating and a little review. It helps people find our reviews. You can do that too. Otherwise, get us on Twitter at mailed_fuzz for channel updates, and check out other content we're doing. Almost finished with Big Little Lies Season 2. We've got a bunch of other stuff coming in the near future. A lot of stuff from Netflix, and a few other things. So check it out. But otherwise, so thank you once again for watching and listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching TV, guys. Have you got any vanilla?